Hello guys, Mr. Winchell here. Today I wanted to help you guys with this assignment, which is on converting between moles and particles, moles and mass, and moles and volume. For this assignment, you will need the assignment, obviously, a periodic table, and a calculator or a phone to do the calculations with. I'm not going to do the whole thing with you, but I will do 2 examples of each of the 3 types of problems for you guys. Okay, so if you guys look at the sheet, the first types of problems are converting between moles and particles, or vice versa, particles and moles. Okay, so the first problem says how many moles of magnesium are 3.01 times 10 to the 22nd atoms of magnesium. Okay, so the way you start these problems is you always start with the number they give you. Make sure you guys write your units. Okay, now I'm trying to convert from atoms to moles. Okay, so if you look above, there's my conversion factor. 1 mole always equals 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, whatever unit you start with automatically drops that next box down below into the denominator so that those 2 can cancel. The unit you're trying to solve for, which in this case is moles of magnesium, goes in the top right block. Okay, now last thing all I do is I put my conversion factor in. 1 mole is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, now what you do is you plug this in your calculator. Again, I highly recommend you guys always use parentheses when you do this, just to make sure you don't plug it in wrong. But if you do it, you will get 0.05, and then make sure you write your unit, mole magnesium. Okay, it's as simple as that. It's just dividing 2 numbers. Okay, problem 2 is the exact same thing, except opposite. Okay, so number 2, we're going to start with moles, and we're going to convert to molecules. Okay, so it says we have 4 moles of glucose. So I put that in my first block. Okay, again, the unit I start with, moles glucose, has to drop down to the bottom denominator of the next block, and the unit you're trying to solve for, which in this case is molecules of glucose, goes in the top right block, because that's what you're trying to solve for. These units cancel, and that's going to be our final unit. Now I do is put in my conversion factor. 1 mole equals 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. Okay, now I pull out my calculator. 4 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, and you get 2.41 times 10 to the 24th molecules glucose. Okay, so any problem where you convert between moles and particles, like atoms or anything of that kind, you just use this setup. Okay, I'm going to erase these. Okay, now if you look down at the second type of problem, which is converting between moles and mass, so number 6. Okay, so this time it says how many moles are in 28 grams of carbon dioxide. Again, 28 grams CO2 goes in your first block. That unit, grams CO2, has to go down to the denominator, and the unit you're solving for, which in this case is moles, CO2, go in the top right block. Okay, that unit cancels. Okay, now I just plug in my 2 numbers. 1 mole equals some number of grams of CO2. How do I figure this out? That's what the periodic table's for. We got to find what's called the molar mass. If you find carbon, which is about right here, it's 12.01. And if you find oxygen, which is right here, it's 15.999. If you do that and you do the math, 12 plus 15.99 plus 15.99, because there's 2 of them, you get a molar mass of CO2 to be 44.01 grams. Okay, so you have to do a secondary math problem to find this number. Okay, now I pull my calculator, 28 divided by 44.01, and you get your answer, 0.64 mole CO2. Okay, now problem 7 is the exact opposite. This time we're going to go from moles to grams. Okay, so this time it says we start with 5 moles of Fe2O3, and we want to find its mass in grams. Okay, so again, that unit, mole Fe2O3 drops down there. The unit we're looking for, grams, goes in the top right block. This unit cancels. Now again, I put in my numbers. 1 mole equals some number of grams. Pull out my periodic table. Find iron, which is 55.8, and I multiply it by 2 because there are 2 of them. And then I add 3 oxygens, which is 15.99. If you do that, you should get 159.69. And then I just take that number and I multiply it by 5. And you get 798.45 grams Fe2O3. Okay, so that's how you convert between moles and mass. Every problem, they're always the same. If you're going from grams to moles, you do it like this. If you're going from moles to grams, you do it like that. Okay, there's one last type of problem, which was the new one for this week, which was converting between moles and liters, volume. Okay, so if you flip to the back, I will do numbers 11 and 12. Okay, 11, it says determine the volume in liters occupied by 0.03 moles of oxygen gas. So 0.03 mole O2, O2 is the symbol for oxygen gas. That unit, mole O2, has to come to the bottom right block so it can cancel. And the unit we're looking for, which is liters of O2, goes in the top right block. Again, all I gotta do is put in my conversion factor. If you don't remember from the notes from this week, it's right here. 1 mole of any gas, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's at what's called standard temperature and pressure, always has the same volume, 22.4. It's always the same number. Any gas, doesn't matter what it is. So 0.03 times 22.4, and you get 0.672 liters of oxygen gas. Okay, and one last problem, number 12. This time we're going to do the opposite. It says you have 11.2 liters of argon. Okay, so liters of argon comes to the denominator, and moles of argon, which is what we're looking for, goes to the top right block. Put in my conversion factor, 1 mole equals 22.4 liters. I'm going to cancel out my unit. Okay, that one you should hopefully be able to do in your head. 11.2 divided by 22.4, it's exactly 0.5 mole argon. Okay, now every problem on the page is exactly like those two, with just, or these 6 that I just did with different numbers. So please try them. Make sure you guys show all your work and your units. If you guys run into any problems, please let me know. When you finish the entire assignment, take a picture of it, scan it, upload it to Google Classroom. Please stop sending me emails with your assignments on them. It's impossible because I get 120 emails with kids sending assignments. It's hard for me to keep track of them. Please upload them to Google Classroom. That's where they belong. Okay, and have a good day.